A new immigration bill in Florida is set to go into effect tomorrow. It centers around migrant workers who make up a large portion of the workforce in the state's key industries. Morning Joe reporter Daniela Pierre-Bravo traveled to Florida to investigate how the new law will affect the agriculture industry, of course, one of the state's top economic drivers. And Daniela joins us now. Good morning, Daniela. What did you learn?
Hey, Willie, good morning. Well, first, that the effects of the bill have already started. Immigrants without status are leaving the state and have left the state in fear of the new law. Second, the implications of these immigrants leaving could extend beyond just individual cases. It could bring larger economic and labor concerns.
Here we grow spinach, chili, a little bit of everything.
22-year-old Flor came to the U.S. from Guatemala 3 years ago, and on any given day, she's joined by other workers at this farm in Homestead, Florida. But today, she's doing the job all on her own.
There were 7 of us. The truth is, the other 7 already left. They already left to other states.
Flor's colleagues have abandoned their life in Florida in fear of Governor DeSantis' new Senate Bill 1718, which will bring sweeping changes to Florida's immigration law when it takes effect on July 1st.
We are acting with the strongest measures yet. We're proud of the legislature for stepping up and for getting this done.
Among other provisions, it requires public and now private employers with 25 or more employees to use the federal E-Verify system to confirm workers' immigration status, imposing strict penalties on employers who hire workers without status, and criminalizing transporting undocumented immigrants across state lines.
In the pandemic, these workers were important. They were vital. And now they're being repaid by this slight from Governor Ron DeSantis. They're in panic. The news felt like an impact, a hurricane, like a tornado warning coming towards them.
Flor is one of the estimated 772,000 undocumented people living in Florida, a state that's home to the 3rd largest share of agricultural undocumented workers in the country.
Within the agriculture industry in particular, we know there's at least 130,000 seasonal and migrant farm workers who come here to work. Now, we know at least 60,000 of those workers are undocumented, but likely that is a conservative estimate.
Juan says that he's already seen empty farms and workers leave the state.
I've seen it in Homestead, I've seen it in Palm Beach, and in Tampa.
Agriculture is often thought of as almost the employment of last resort, particularly for native or documented workers. Given the situation in Florida right now, and really nationwide, with a low unemployment rate, it's going to be even harder to convince people that these are jobs worth taking.
Ermila is one of those owners having a hard time finding workers. She's had experience working with undocumented immigrants and worries of fear around the bill will drive even more workers away.
They're the ones with the experience. They're the ones who can tolerate the heat. Workers with legal documents look for work in offices, in restaurants. Many workers have already left, and many of them still have planned to leave. It's not going to be easy. If they're leaving because of fear, it's not going to be easy to find more workers. If it's harder to find workers, business will go down.
What happens, especially for those seasonal workers that aren't set to come back until September and October?
It's likely that those workers, they simply skip Florida entirely on their sort of path. And when you have parts of that supply chain missing or parts of that production process missing, it becomes that much harder for the people who are left to do their job. And so you're going to see further exits from agricultural work, regardless of whether or not someone has a documented status or not.
So what about the long-term consequences?
A lot of the crops that they produce can also be produced in other states that are not going to maybe have these same labor problems. If this sticks around and workers respond to it, which we have evidence to say that they will, it's going to likely change the geography of agricultural production, particularly for those crops that Florida is known for.
What Governor DeSantis has done is dehumanized immigration, and he's made visible a serious problem, an underground world that already exists in Florida and the rest of the United States.
I asked Flor if she has plans to stay or leave Florida.
I'm not planning on leaving. I have my boy here. I have a son. He was born here. I have a life here. Leaving for another state is like starting from zero.
I reached out to the governor's office for a response on addressing specifically economic concerns and labor shortage worries that we've been hearing from farm owners. Their press secretary reiterated that this bill addresses only illegal immigration, as they chose to word it, and that the bill is a solution to companies hiring them instead of Floridians. But experts tell me, Willie, that workers without status make up around 40% or more of the agriculture industry in Florida, many of whom work at more than one farm year-round, right? So we'll have to see if migrant workforce continues to shrink and what impact that might have for prices on consumers. Willie?
All right, we'll keep a close eye on this story. Thanks for bringing it to us. Morning Joe reporter Daniela Pierre Bravo. Daniela, thanks so much.